Most men over 60 years old don't realize that the way they drink water, like regular, plain water, could be the underlying cause of weak erections, low vigor, and declining testosterone levels. It sounds absurd, I know, how something so simple could lead to such significant problems. But after helping thousands of men over more than 25 years of clinical practice, I can confidently say, the issue isn't always age, it's everyday habits. And one of the most overlooked habits is how and when you consume water. I'm Dr. Sandra Pereira, a doctor graduated from USP, a specialist in Neurology from the Federal University of Sao Paulo, with over 25 years of experience in men's health, and a researcher in the Andrology department. I've treated men aged 60, 70, and 80 who arrived without hope, convinced that their best years were behind them. Time and again, I've seen how small adjustments, like changing the way you hydrate, can restore energy, performance, and confidence in ways they never imagined. Keep watching. This could be the most important video you see this year. Before we start, if you really want to improve your health and regain your confidence, click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss evidence-based, practical tips developed specifically for men over 60. And if this video seems helpful, write a 1 in the comments. If not, write 0 so I know how to help you better next time. I also want to know which state in Brazil you're watching from. All right, let's get to the point. The first thing we need to talk about is blood flow, because without it, there's no erection. And what most men don't know is that blood is mostly composed of water. That means if you're even slightly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, slower, and harder to circulate. And when blood doesn't flow freely, especially to the areas that matter most, your ability to get and maintain a firm erection is directly affected. Let's break it down. Water is blood's best friend, and erections depend on blood. Let me tell you something I learned after more than 2 decades of listening to men behind closed doors. Men like you. The number one complaint I hear isn't always about testosterone or libido. It's, Dr. Sandra Pereira, it doesn't work like it used to. And 9 out of 10 times, before assessing hormones or medications, I ask one question. How much water are you actually drinking? Most laugh. They say, I have coffee in the morning, maybe a soda at lunch, but water? Almost none. The truth is that an erection is a hydraulic event. It's about pressure. It requires blood to flow into the penis, fill the chambers, and stay there. But if the blood is too thick, too slow, or too heavy to move properly, that pressure is never generated. You may feel the desire, but physically, your body can't respond. Blood is composed of more than 90% water. So, when you're not hydrated, even a little, your blood becomes more viscous. Your heart has to work harder to make the blood circulate. That means less delivery of oxygen and nutrients. And yes, less blood flow to the penis. And this isn't just my opinion, it's basic human physiology. One of my patients, Carlos, a 68-year-old retired professor, walked into my office in Sao Paulo with his head down and said, Dr. Sandra Pereira, it doesn't work anymore. I think I'm too old. He'd accepted it as his new normal, but upon reviewing his lifestyle, I realized he was doing almost everything right, except drinking water. He had no serious illnesses, no problematic medications. He was just chronically dehydrated. I asked him to commit to one small change. Drink water throughout the day in a consistent and intentional way. No rushed gulps, no chugging cold bottles all at once. Just slow, steady hydration. 2 weeks later, he returned, smiling. I don't know what changed, he said, but it's working again. That's the power of proper hydration. It thins the blood, improves circulation, and supports all the mechanisms your body relies on for performance. And it doesn't take much, just consistency. Most men don't realize that even mild dehydration can reduce blood volume enough to make a difference. You don't feel thirsty, but your body is already slowing down. Erection strength weakens, recovery time increases, and confidence starts to fade away silently, little by little over time. And there's more. Blood doesn't just carry oxygen. It also transports hormones, testosterone, nitric oxide, and essential nutrients that travel through the bloodstream to where they're needed. If that system doesn't flow smoothly, nothing works as it should. So, the next time you feel like your body is failing, don't jump to conclusions about aging. Ask yourself first, am I hydrated enough for my blood to do its job? That's just the beginning, because even if you're drinking enough water, there's something else that could be sabotaging your performance from the inside. And it's even more dangerous than poor blood flow. It has to do with a hormone every man needs, and what happens when the body goes into survival mode. Dehydration quietly reduces testosterone. I remember sitting across from Walter, a 72-year-old man, recently widowed and living alone in Rio de Janeiro. Sharp mind, clear eyes, but his energy was fading. He looked at me and said, "Dr. Sandra Pereira, I don't feel sick. I just don't feel like myself." There was no crisis, no obvious medical emergency, but something in him had dimmed and he didn't know why. We talked. He wasn't on important medications, he exercised a bit, ate well, wasn't depressed, but he felt apathetic, with little motivation and no real interest in intimacy. And behind it all, there was a silent fear. It's over for me. I ran his tests. His testosterone levels were below average, not alarmingly low, but enough to explain why he felt dimmed. When I asked about his water intake, he admitted, almost like a confession, probably not much, to be honest. And there it was. Most men don't realize that dehydration does more than make you tired or thirsty. It puts the entire body into conservation mode. The body starts saving energy, protecting vital organs, regulating temperature, and maintaining blood pressure. And anything that's not essential for survival, like reproduction, libido, muscle building, and testosterone production, gets put on the back burner. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It's about drive, strength, identity. It's the inner fire that makes you feel like a man. But when the body detects a lack of water, it dims that fire to preserve itself. And the more dehydrated you become over time, the more that hormonal imbalance becomes your new normal. And that's not all. There's another enemy that dehydration brings with it: cortisol, your main stress hormone. When you're dehydrated, cortisol levels spike. And here's the problem: cortisol and testosterone don't dominate at the same time. When cortisol rises, testosterone falls. It's like a seesaw. And many men over 60 are unknowingly stuck on the wrong side. Going back to Walter, we didn't put him on testosterone injections or hormone replacement therapy. Instead, I suggested something much simpler: a hydration routine. He started drinking water first thing in the morning, carried a bottle with him all day, and took small, constant sips instead of waiting to feel thirsty. He avoided caffeine in the afternoon, steered clear of alcohol before bed, and learned to listen to his body. 4 weeks later, he walked into the office with renewed vigor. "Dr. Sandra Pereira," he said, "I feel awake again. I'm laughing more. I'm even interested in meeting someone." That spark had returned, and all he did was give his body what it was silently asking for: water. The truth is that many older men don't suffer from hormonal failure. They suffer from chronic dehydration, and no one told them. But even if you're drinking water every day, there's something most people do wrong. And it's not about how much, but how. That one mistake could be why your body still isn't responding the way you'd like. Most men drink water the wrong way. When I started telling men that the way they drink water affects their erections, to be honest, many laughed in my face. I'll never forget Miguel, a 67-year-old retired truck driver from Minas Gerais. A big, straightforward man. He looked at me, laughed, and said, "Dr. Sandra Pereira, it's water. What should I do? Pray to it?" I smiled and replied, "No, Miguel, but you should respect it. Ah, that's where most people go wrong. They think drinking water is as simple as grabbing a bottle when they feel thirsty. But the truth is, when thirst appears, the body is already dehydrated. And when you drink a large amount all at once, especially cold water, the body can't absorb it properly. Instead of hydrating the cells, that water passes quickly through the system, overloads the kidneys, and flushes out valuable minerals. It's like pouring a bucket of water over a dry sponge. It doesn't get absorbed, it just runs off the sides. The body prefers consistency, small sips throughout the day. That way, it maintains blood volume, balances the nervous system, and keeps hormones in check. Even the way you position yourself makes a difference. Drinking while seated, instead of standing or on the move, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, allowing for better absorption. And here's something most people have never heard. Let the water mix with saliva for a few seconds before swallowing. It helps the body process it more efficiently. It's an ancient practice backed by modern evidence. Miguel was skeptical, but agreed to try. He stopped drinking cold water from the fridge and switched to room temperature water, slowly, throughout the day. He sat down to drink and started paying attention to when his body asked for water, instead of ignoring it until he felt parched. In 3 weeks, he called my office. "Dr. Sandra Pereira, I don't know what kind of magic this is, but I feel stronger. Not just in bed, but overall." This isn't magic. It's physiology. When you respect how the body wants to receive water, it rewards you with better circulation, steadier energy, clearer focus, and yes, firmer erections. It's not about drinking more. It's about drinking smarter. Most older men never learned this. They assume hydration is just a matter of quantity. But the quality of how you hydrate makes all the difference. Think of your body like a classic engine. You wouldn't flood it with gas all at once and expect it to run smoothly. You'd feed it slowly, carefully, and consistently. Your body is the same. And here's the trick. Even if you're drinking water the right way, you're probably still doing things during the day that cancel out much of the effort. Small habits that seem harmless but are pulling water from the system and sabotaging progress. There's nothing more frustrating than doing the right thing and not seeing results. I see this all the time with my older patients, men who commit to drinking more water, changing habits, and really taking care of themselves, only to return weeks later saying, "Dr. Sandra Pereira, I feel a little better, but not what I expected." That's exactly what happened with Henrique, a 74-year-old retired pilot who followed my hydration advice to the letter. He took slow sips, avoided cold water, drank while seated. He did everything I asked. But when he sat across from me at the follow-up appointment, he looked perplexed. "Dr. Sandra Pereira, I expected more." So we examined the rest of his routine closely. We found small, daily choices that seemed harmless, but were actually working against him. Like many, Enrique started his day with a strong cup of coffee. Later, he enjoyed a glass of wine with dinner. After eating a juicy orange or some slices of watermelon, he drank a large glass of water. None of this seemed like a problem until we looked at it through the lens of hydration. Caffeine and alcohol are diuretics. That means they draw water from the system, increasing urine production and leaving you more dehydrated than you imagine. You might think you're replenishing with water, but if you drink it right after coffee or alcohol, you're just trying to catch up to something that never fully compensates. Then there's the timing issue. Drinking water immediately after eating water-rich fruits like oranges, grapes, or melons can dilute digestive enzymes and cause bloating. When that happens, the body becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients, and the water intake loses some of its benefit. Even something seemingly innocent, like drinking too much water too quickly, what we call overhydration, can flush out key minerals like sodium, magnesium, and potassium. These electrolytes are essential for nerve function, muscle contractions, and yes, for sexual response. Once Henrique understood, we made some subtle adjustments. He started spacing out his water intake more intentionally, drinking before meals instead of after fruits, cutting back a bit on coffee and wine, and adding a pinch of sea salt to his morning glass to help retain essential electrolytes. In just a few days, he told me, "Dr. Sandra Pereira, it's like my body finally got the message. I feel balanced. I feel like I'm working with my body, not against it." Sometimes the solution isn't to do more, but to eliminate the subtle saboteurs that quietly undermine your efforts. When you remove those hidden mistakes, the benefits of hydration start working in your favor, like flipping a switch inside you. Now, I want to share a simple 7-second morning habit that works in harmony with proper hydration to unlock real, lasting performance. Over the years, I've come to believe that the first minutes of the day can shape everything, from energy to mindset to body function. Especially after 60, those early moments matter more than ever. And while hydration is the foundation, there's one simple habit I share with my patients that takes it to the next level. It takes just 7 seconds, and when done consistently, it can awaken something inside you that may have been dormant for years. Gilberto, one of my longtime patients, was 71 when he came to me. He followed the hydration plan religiously, room temperature water spaced throughout the day, avoiding cold drinks, steering clear of dehydration triggers. And it helped. His energy improved. His mood was brighter, but something was still missing. He said, "Dr. Sandra Pereira, I feel good, but not great, like I'm almost there." That's when I taught him the 7-second morning trick. It's not complicated and requires no equipment, just you, your breath, and your intention. The technique is simple. A slow, deep inhalation through the nose. Hold for a few seconds, and then exhale gently through the nose again. This stimulates the release of nitric oxide, a natural molecule produced by the body that acts like a switch for blood flow. It tells the vessels to relax and open, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to reach all parts of the body, including the one you're probably thinking about right now. Most men over 60 have declining nitric oxide levels. It's one of the reasons blood flow weakens with age, even if the heart remains strong. But with a few intentional breaths every morning, right after your first glass of water, you can activate that system and boost circulation. It's gentle, natural, and works with the body, not against it. Gilberto was skeptical at first. "Dr. Sandra Pereira, how is breathing going to fix anything?" he asked. I smiled and said, "Just give it 2 weeks." And he did. 2 weeks later, he walked in looking lighter, like a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. "Dr. Sandra Pereira," he said, "I don't know how to explain it, but I feel connected again. My body seems to remember how to function." That's what it's about. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about helping your body remember who you've always been. If this video was helpful to you, give it a like and share it with someone who could benefit from this information. Next week, I'll reveal the complete 21-day protocol that combines this technique with specific exercises that amplify the results even more. Until the next video, this is Dr. Sandra Pereira. Remember, vitality has no age. It just needs the right care. What if I told you that even mild dehydration can make the blood thicker, slow circulation, reduce testosterone, and increase stress hormones, making it harder to achieve and maintain erections? What if the solution wasn't in a pill, but in a glass of water used the right way? In this video, I'll share 8 science-based secrets about water and erections that many older men wish they'd known years ago. These are the same tips I give my patients every day in my office in Sao Paulo. And toward the end, I'll reveal a little-known morning technique that takes just 7 seconds and, combined with proper hydration, improves blood flow and bedroom performance.